Hey everybody, it's Kelly, pastor, police chaplain, and relationship coach here with another relationship suggestion that I think would really help you. The last video I made, we talked about responding, not reacting. So today I want to give you another tool for your tool box, which is called the timeout. Okay, so picture this. You're in a discussion or maybe an argument or a heated talk, if you will, with your spouse or significant other or a close friend. And you can tell that the temperature of that discussion, of that conversation is starting to go up. In other words, it's getting more heated. There's more emotion involved in it. There's getting more anger, especially if you feel yourself starting to reach that point where the emotion is just building, and you're starting to maybe feel like you might be losing control. Well, guess what? You are. So here's the tool. Call a timeout. You guys know what this means? In football, this is the symbol for the timeout. So that's what I want you to do. Call a timeout. What is a timeout? A timeout is a predetermined time. So before you even start talking about issues with your spouse or a close friend or whatever, just say, you know what? If we get upset, let's call a timeout. And a timeout simply means we're going to come back in 15 minutes. Now, a timeout is not I'm sorry, I'm done talking and I'm leaving this conversation. That is not a timeout. A timeout is a promise to come back. Okay. And that's super important because if you just say, I'm done talking and I'm leaving and you walk out of the room, well, then what that does is it shuts down all communication. You go into that silent mode for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. I've talked to couples that have been in silent mode for days and weeks at a time because they didn't want to address it. And really all it does is it sweeps the issue under the rug. Well, you know what happens when you sweep anything underneath a rug? That's right. All you're doing is creating a tripping hazard. You're going to come back and you're going to trip over that over and over again. So what is a timeout? 15 minutes, maybe a half an hour, maybe an hour. You guys decide. What do you need? What do you think is going to be helpful? And here's the big thing to do. When you call a timeout, you walk away and you get a drink of water. Now, I learned this from a training I went to that the police department sent me to, and this is golden. I have seen this work over and over again. So you step out of the room, you go to the kitchen, you go to the garage, you get a bottle of water, wherever, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could even drink from the hose if you're into that. I don't care. All you got to do is take a few sips of water, and I guarantee you, you will calm down. Because see what happens when your emotions start going up, and you get angry and you get, flustered. What happens is that your front part of your brain, where you make all of your decisions, actually starts to shut off because the blood flow goes from the front part of the brain to the lower parts of your brain, where you go either into fight or flight. Most of the time, you're either going to fight back or you're going to run away. So when you take a sip of water, what happens is that it calms you down and it reconnects the parts of your brain and you're able to think about it. I guarantee you this, and there are very few things that I can guarantee, but this is one of them. If you have a sip of water when you're on a timeout, I guarantee you'll calm down. I've seen this happen over and over again. And then what happens is that you figure out, okay, what's the best way to respond to this? How do I want to talk about it? What are we going to do? How can we resolve this issue and resolve this problem? And then after the timeout's over, you're going to come back. You're going to have some creative ideas. You're going to be able to go into problem-solving mode. You're going to be able to listen without a lot of emotion, okay? And you're going to be able to solve whatever the issue is that brought this thing on in the first place. If you continue in the argument, in the discussion with the emotion, I guarantee you another thing, and that is nothing helpful will happen because you're just going to get more and more upset. Your partner's going to get more and more upset. You're going to say things that you regret and you're going to have to apologize for later. And you're not going to fix anything. So remember, keeping going is probably not the right thing to do. The best thing to do is call the timeout and then come back in a few minutes after you've calmed down to continue the discussion and to solve the problem. Hey, I do relationship coaching, and I've got a few spots left for clients. So if you're interested in getting some one-on-one coaching with me, either as a single or as a couple, please send me a message through Facebook Messenger, and I'll be glad to give you a complimentary sample session, and we'll see if this is a good fit for you and if I can help you. God bless. Until next time, take care.